Hey, what's going on? It's Stokely from Sauce on Delay. Recently I was looking at some recalls on prescription medications, and I think maybe 2 or 3 of them were manufactured and developed and sold by Pfizer. Developed, manufactured, and sold by Pfizer. But all these medications are recommended to you, eventually by your doctor, or sometimes you can go and request it from your doctor, because if you watch a lot of medical commercials, it says go ahead and ask your doctor about so and so and so forth. So, they kind of encourage you to go ask your doctor for stuff. So, when you go to the doctor, you have the option of kind of telling them how to take care of you and how to treat you and whatever, you know what I mean? Even though they know best, we would understand it too. We would like to understand that. We would like to believe that they know best, but they're influenced just like anybody else. They have their formal education, and which their formal education is also influenced by market leaders or whatever, people who invest in research at these universities. So anyhow, there's a lot of influence, and there's some nepotism, so on and so forth. So anyhow, African American people primarily have a condition. It doesn't really affect other demographics. There's a condition called sickle cell or sickle cell anemia. So Pfizer has a drug called Oxbryta, Oxbryta, which it released and is now pulling off the shelves because, according to research, it's killing more people than the placebo. So, you understand placebo is just nothing, right? Placebo is just, placebo works sometimes, because placebo is like basically convincing yourself that you're healed. Maybe some medical conditions that can work with, that may be stress related mostly, but maybe you can also manifest healing, I don't know if that really works in the case of sickle cell. So, just typically like a placebo is like a sugar pill, from my understanding, which is just, it's just like nothing. So this drug Oxbryta is resulting in people dying when they are on the drug more than if they were on no drug. So the drug is definitely directly proportionally connected to people dying. So this is something that they researched, developed, manufactured, and sold. Excuse me. And referred to their doctors or marketed, and then was eventually put out. So, do these companies, are they perfect? No, they make mistakes. Even with multiple levels of checks and balances, multiple peer reviews, so on and so forth, still they make mistakes. I would like to think they are mistakes, and release drugs that are harmful. So let's go to another one. Let's see here. This one is hormonal meds for birth control, menopause, linked to brain tumors. Okay, so this drug is called, let's see what it's called. Let's see. Okay, it says the contraceptive injection Depo-Provera and 2 drugs used for menopause relief could be linked to tumors. This is in U.S. news. You can Google any of these. So this drug is called Depo-Provera. Some people call it a Depo shot, and it provides basically, from my understanding, contraception similar to birth control for a long period of time. So it says, Depo-Provera increased the risks of intracranial meningioma 5.6-fold if used for longer than a year. So if you're taking a Depo shot for more than a year, you got a 560 times more chance of having a intracranial meningioma, which is some kind of brain tumor. So here again, we see another drug that it's probably been around for a long time. I've heard the phrase Depo shot before, or maybe I'm mistaken, but it's been around for a while. Recommended by doctors, administered by doctors, prescribed by doctors, researched by, guys with big brains, financed by companies with big pockets. And it's, it's effective probably in what it does directly, yes, but one of the side effects apparently is brain tumors. And it says, in countries for which the use of medroxyprogesterone acetate for birth control is frequent, 74 million users worldwide. 74 million people use it worldwide. That's not really a lot, really. The number of attributable meningiomas may be potentially high. Okay, so I think it's let's see, furthermore, menopause hormone therapy drugs, medrogesterone and promegestone, medrogestone and promegestone increase risk of intracranial meningiomas by 4.1-fold. That's 410%, and 2.7-fold respectively. That's 270%. Intracranial meningiomas are mostly non-cancerous tumors that grow in the layers of tissue that cover the brain and spinal cord. Researchers said meningiomas account for 40% of cancers in the central nervous system. 3 drugs all contain progestogens, which are similar to the natural hormone progesterone. This class of drugs are also used to treat conditions like endometriosis and ovarian cysts. So, in the with the intent of treating female hormone and reproductive system related conditions, well, some aren't really conditions. Fertility is not a condition, but in contraception, hormone replacement, or I guess you would call it menopause treatment, and what is it? Ovarian cysts and endometriosis. You're risking your life. It's best to try to get your nutrients and these supplements through your food. And that's why I don't think I published it, but I was listening to a guy on Instagram, and he was advising against eating flaxseed, women eating flaxseed to get more estrogen. And I said, wait a minute. So you're against using a plant-based solution? So what do you want them to do? Use a medical treatment-related injection or pill or something like that? Is that what you're doing? Now, he didn't provide any alternative. So I think that he's doing women a disservice by just trying to take away flaxseed. It's probably better you just try something like flaxseed. Try to make that your rice instead. I really don't know. I'm not a doctor, right? So do your own research. Because look, the doctors are professionals, and they're prescribing oxyberta for sickle cell, which is killing people. and they're prescribing depot shots, which are also causing, nervous system related tumors. So when we default say, oh, the doctor knows best, I don't believe in that. Plus, I've had 3 family members who have died in the hospital. Most people die in the hospital. And I have 4 people during my lifetime that I know that died in the hospital. One of them was already probably dead before they got to the hospital. 2 of them died to staph infection related issues that they contracted at the hospital. And 1 died from I think they call it intubated, when they put the hose down your throat. They put the hose down my cousin's throat, punctured his lung, gave him internal bleeding. He bled out, went brain dead, and he died. So don't try to stay out of the hospital if possible. Like my father says, your body doesn't come with zippers, so don't bother having them cut you up and open you up to do all kind of stuff. Try to take care of yourself. These hippies like myself, I guess, believe in holistic medicine, believe in giving your body what it needs to heal itself. They don't believe in them healing anybody. They believe in everybody healing their own self by giving themselves the best conditions in which to heal. I was even reading an article about a guy whose father was sensitive to smell so much. He had, before his son visited him, he had to send his son non-hypoallergenic, scented-free detergent and bath soap, so that when his son showed up at his house, he would not trigger all of the headaches and all the conditions that his father was suffering from these artificial fragrances. Anyhow, and that guy, his father was a professor. The father did not find out much years later that he was sensitive to scents, to these artificial scents, right? So help your doctor out. They can't do anything to you that you don't tell them or allow them to do. When they say they're going to do something, you say, well, let me think about it, whatever. Sometimes you don't have that convenience. For instance, if you're incapacitated and you don't have a health proxy, I guess you can't do that. You know what I mean? I want to also advise against putting yourself on the organ donor list, but it'll be a whole separate episode for me to explain why that is. Based on the articles that I've been reading and based on current events that have been happening, I would advise against it. But hey, listen, don't hate me for that. There's a reason why I'm saying it. So let's go to another drug. Let's see who makes the Depo shot. Let's go back to Depo-Provera. Who makes it? Let's see. Somehow my recording stopped. I don't know why it stopped, but I basically was gonna say, what's the other drug? Some antidepressant drugs are also linked to cancer, and I was speaking, but the whole thing cut off. So it says here, nationwide antidepressants recall update as FDA sets risk class. So there's a drug called, duloxetine delayed release capsules produced by Toa Pharmaceutical Europe. So these are antidepressants, and during their production, apparently, there's a chemical that's introduced called N-nitrosoduloxetine. N-nitrosoduloxetine, and it causes cancer. Well, I'm at my destination and I gotta go, but just be careful and do your research. Don't just take everything and down everything that they give to you. All right, thanks for listening.